Full disclosure right away, I think this might be my favourite song of all time, particularly this performance. Now, it's not actually a James Taylor song, of course, it was written by Carole King, but his recording of this kind of encapsulates everything I really love about James Taylor as a musician. The sentiment of the song, of course, is great, but it's his voice and particularly the level of refinement and sophistication in his guitar. If you listen closely to the original recording, there are two guitars. Danny Korchmar is playing in the right channel, and it's completely separated in the recording from James Taylor and his guitar. And you can hear the way they're working together and the level of sophistication here, the very precise way in which they're sliding and harmonizing. Leland Sklar on bass. Likewise, they're just all working together. The whole thing feels very relaxed and organic, but it's incredibly beautifully done. My version is going to be also quite relaxed and maybe not quite as highly precise, but we'll see what we can do. The very first thing I want to do is just look at his picking style. I'm going to choose a very simple picking pattern using my thumb on the 6th, 5th or 4th string, and then the 3 fingers typically on the top 3 strings. First finger on the 3rd string, second finger on the 2nd string, third finger on the top string, thumb 1, 2, 3. That's going to be my template, if you like. Thumb 1, 2, 3. And obviously, depending on the chord, your thumb's going to be on the 6th string, or like for a C, it's going to be on the 5th string, and so on. But the first half of my pattern is going to be thumb 1, 2, 3. The second half of the pattern, I'm going to bring my thumb up to the 4th string. That's the alternating bass note for G. And then my fingers are going to be 1, 2, 1. So altogether, thumb 1, 2, 3, thumb 1, 2, 1. And on a C chord, for instance, I'm bringing my thumb up to the 4th string again. Now, it doesn't sound like much yet, but that top string, when that gets played on 2 and, if you accent that and then somewhat swallow the second thumb note, it just creates a gentle syncopation. Okay, it's very similar to the feel that James Taylor gets here, but of course, he then embellishes with all sorts of slides and hammer-ons and pull-offs and so on. And it's important at this point to understand that the guitar is kind of in G. The open strings are all in the key of G, G, C, E minor, that kind of area. So pretty much any chord you've got, you can include open strings. So for instance here, the C chord, I could just take off the first finger from the 2nd string for a C major 7 at any point. I can hammer on to the 2nd fret of the 4th string as part of my chord, that kind of thing. Hammering on from the open 3rd string to the 2nd fret, that's also going to work. All this kind of stuff. So let me just map out for you a scale that is the G pentatonic scale right here, and you'll be able to build in some of those notes in hammer-ons, pull-offs and slides and so on, and we'll see a bit later on that's exactly what James Taylor does with his fills. It's this. Okay, if you know your E blues scale, that's the same thing, just starting on the open bottom string. And there's that point there with the B flat, if you want to include that, to B, where you might slide up to the 4th fret of the 3rd string instead of playing the open 2nd string. You'll find this kind of scale in blues, country, bluegrass, and this kind of American folk all the time. Anyway, in G, we've always got opportunities to do this kind of thing. So look for those as you're playing through the song, and you'll find you start to approach something like the feel of James Taylor's original. Okay, let's sketch out the chords. The song kicks off obviously with a very famous picked intro. And we'll look at that precisely. I'll tab it out, and it's worth getting under your fingers because it also occurs at the end of the chorus as well, and kind of in the outro and so on. That's really worth knowing. But for now, let's just look at the chords for the verse. And it's 16 bars. The first 4 bars are a combination of E minor and B7, like this. When you're down and troubled and you need a helping hand. Well, that's simple enough. Sometimes with his B7, instead of this shape, he's playing this. It just gives him opportunities for his kind of melody making on the top strings. He always seems to be hunting for little bits of scales and motifs that he can add up there. So you might decide to play B7 here or maybe down here. It really doesn't matter. When you're down in trouble and you need a helping hand. Let me just say straight away that if you're finger picking your 4-beat pattern and you've got a chord that only lasts for 2 beats, try this instead. I've got my thumb, and now I actually move my fingers down to the 2nd, 3rd and 4th strings. Thumb 1 and then 2 and 3 together, back to 1. That kind of a thing. That's a way for you to get a bit more interest when you haven't got very much time to spend on a chord. Anyway, that's the first line. When you're down and trouble and you need a helping hand. Then we have A minor 7 and nothing. And he might be putting his little finger on the 3rd fret of the top string for A minor 7, or not. Oh, nothing, oh, nothing. And we've got D7 sus4, so it's really just a case of moving that 2nd finger from the 4th string to the 3rd string. Oh, nothing is going right. And then we just coast on 2 bars of G. So the whole of the 2nd line, oh, nothing is going right. Now, the 3rd line is very much like the 1st line, except we begin with F sharp minor 7. And depending on how you're picking this, if you're sticking to the top 3 strings with your fingers and the thumb is on the 6th string, it's enough to do a bar. I kind of like to put my 3rd finger on the 4th fret of the 5th string there at least, just in case my thumb wanders onto the 5th string. Close your eyes and think of me. Soon I will be there. And now it's A minor 7 again. To brighten up B minor 7, even your darkest. And we have 2 bars of D7, the first of which is sus4. Night. And at times, to create a little bit of quiet tension, he just adds chords together with the top 3 strings. So let's have the whole of the verse. When you're down and troubled and you need a helping hand, oh, nothing is going right. Close your eyes and think of me. Soon I will be there. Brighten up even your darkest night. You just call, and we're into the chorus. Okay, now a couple of details before we look at the chorus itself. The last 2 bars of the verse are this D7 sus4 and D7. And actually, there's a rundown in the bass, and I think James Taylor plays the rundown as well, but he certainly adds chords above it, so we get to brighten up even your darkest night. You just, and those notes are the D, then there's a C, a B, and an A. It's just a long walk down or run down from D down to G. Even your darkest night, you just call, and we're into the chorus because that begins on a G. But we can harmonise that rundown with chords above it. The D7 is already there for the D chord, then a C for the C below, for the B maybe a G, that's what he does, and then an A minor 7 for the A. So it's not so tricky. Brighten up even your darkest night, you just call out my name. So that's what he does there. I mean, I'm not sure it's strictly necessary to play all of this, especially if you're playing this on a single acoustic guitar. There's already quite a lot going on. I might just stay on the D7 there, but that's what he does. And the other thing we need to look at is the intro figure, because it reappears at the end of the chorus. We can't really play the chorus without it. And I've tabbed this out precisely. This is what he does. We begin with 4 Gs. And we actually play the first note of the following C chord before the beginning of the second bar. And for the C, I've got my little finger on the top string at the 3rd fret, just where it was for the G. For the second half of that bar, the second finger comes off the 4th string. So maybe that's like a C over D. And then we have this, G sus4 to a sus2, I guess, and back to our G octaves. In fact, I think he plays that with a hammer-on. You don't have to do precisely this, you know, you do what feels right for you, but this is what he does. And finally we get this. That's the 6th, 4th, 3rd and 2nd strings of an F sharp minor. You can just bar at the 2nd fret, and then this B7. Okay, so all together. Okay, so now we can look at the chorus. Chorus begins with a G, you just call, to G major 7, out my name. And it's kind of, you know, there's no great distinction between the two. G major 7, he'll often put the F sharp in the G chord just to create that major 7y sound. C major 7, and you know wherever I, A minor 7, am, I'll come, and again G major 7, running, see you again. Our D7 sus4 and D7, just like we had at the end of the verse. And then we have the same thing again. Winter, spring, summer, or fall. Our C chord, C major 7 or C. All you've got to do is call. Now here he puts in a fill, and I'll talk about this fill separately in a moment, but for now I'm playing the 3rd line of the chorus exactly the same as the 1st line. Winter, spring, summer, or fall. All you've got to do is call. And of course between C and A minor, nice passing bass note there, 2nd fret on the 5th string for a B. All you got to do is call. And we finish off with, yeah, I'll be there. C, B minor 7, yes I will. And we get a variation on the D7 sus4, C over D to D7 sus4. Yeah, I'll be there, yes I will. You've got a friend. And that takes us back into the next verse. So let's have the whole of the chorus. You just call out my name, and you know wherever I am, I come running to see you again. Winter, spring, summer, or fall, all you've got to do is call, and I'll be there, yes I will. You've got a friend. Into the next verse. If the sky above you, and that's just like the first one. Now there's a fill that gets played in both guitars actually, James Taylor and Danny Kortchmar. They've obviously worked this out very carefully and they harmonise perfectly. It's in the end of the third line. It happens every time. It's more or less the same every time, and it's this. So I'm sliding up second to fourth on the third string, then hitting the top string open. Now I'm coming back down from the fourth to the second on the third string, open third string, second fret on the fourth string. Then I've got a simple hammer-on the fifth string, open to second, open fourth string, and then a pull-off, second fret to open fourth string, back to the second fret of the fifth string. In the playthrough later on, I'm not going to play this, I'll overdub it perhaps, I'll just play the straight A-7, but it's here. Winter, spring, summer or fall, all you've got to do is call. Okay, so that's that. The second and third times there's actually an extra note. So there's a note, I'm playing that with my first finger on the third fret of the second string. Take this with a pinch of salt, obviously, or, you know, make up your own slides. Nobody cares, but winter, spring, summer or fall, all you've got to do is call, and I'll be there. Again, if you're playing this on a single acoustic guitar, you might not be doing that, but if you're playing with other people, it's quite nice to fit that in. After two verses and two choruses, we get to the bridge, which is a new section, and that kicks off with an F chord. So we get, I'll be there, yes I will. Hey, good to... Now, you could play F. Actually, there's a bit of F major 7 going on. I'm going to play it this way. It's kind of like forming an A minor shape on the second, third and fourth strings, and then my first finger's going to come down and play on the first fret of the bottom string. Ain't it good to know, back to C, you've got a friend, G, people can be so cold, G major 7, they'll hurt you, that's my C, and I'll come back to F. I might play F major 7 like this, or since I'm on a C, I might just do this. I'm moving my second finger on the C shape up from the fourth string to the third string, and then tucking my little finger in behind on the third fret of the fourth string. That means I can still play my top open string for a F major 7 shape, and if I really want to, I can wrap my thumb round to play a 6-string F major 7 shape. That's quite a common way to do that. And then we have an E minor 7. You might add a finger on the third fret of the second string for that, or not. Then we have an A7, and he lifts at some point the second string finger to create a kind of A9 sort of thing. You can play that. A minor 7 to D7 gets us back in to the next chorus. So altogether, and I'll go from the end of the second chorus. Be there, yes I will. Hey, ain't it good to know that you got a friend? People can be so cold, They'll hurt you and desert you. You take your soul if you let them. Don't you let them. And the music just kind of stops there. Don't you let them. You just call out my... And we're into the final chorus. Now the final chorus leads us into the outro, which is really just an extended alternating pair of G and C chords. There's 9 bars of that altogether. I'll go from the third line of the chorus and you'll see. Oh, winter, spring, summer or fall, all you've got to do is call, and I'll be there, yes I will. You've got a friend. You've got a friend, yeah. Ain't it good to know you've got a friend? Ain't it good to know you've got a friend? Oh yeah, you've got a friend. That's it, and on you've got a friend. He does the little hammer-on thing that he does in the third bar of the intro. And we finish the song. So it's good to know you've got a friend. Oh yeah, you've got a friend. And that ends the song. As you're alternating between the G and the C, you're kind of borrowing bits of the intro to do that with. So you can keep your little finger up on the 3rd fret of the top string throughout. So the whole of the outro from the 3rd line of the chorus. Winter, spring, summer or fall, all you've got to do is call, and I'll be there, yes I will. You've got a friend. You've got a friend, yeah. Ain't it good to know you've got a friend? Ain't it good to know you've got a friend? Oh yeah, you've got a friend. just call and I'll be there. Yes, I will. Hey, ain't it good to know you've got a friend? People can be so cold. They'll hurt you and desert you. Well, they'll take your soul if you let them. Don't you let them. You just call out my name, and you know wherever I am, I'll come running to see you again. Winter, spring, summer or fall, all you've got to do